We're going to record this presentation as well, and we can provide it to you following, so if you would like to share it internally or have it for yourself. But thank you all for joining. I'm Liz Ferrix with the Exhibits Development Group, and I'm here to introduce you to the Shark Week exhibition webinar. Shark Week, as you know, is a discovery a show that's been going for, it'll be a 30th anniversary this year. So in celebration of the anniversary, we're working with Discovery to create a digitally distributed exhibition. And I'm going to allow our partner, Jeffrey Curley of Jeffrey Curley and Associates, to walk you through our presentation of this material. We'll go through the presentation, and we'll have a Q&A at the end. So please kind of hold your questions till the end. Also, we're going to ask that everyone does put their phone or their computer on mute. That way, if there's any background noise, it doesn't disrupt the presentation. So at this time, I'm going to pass the phone or the recording off to Jeffrey.
Hi, everyone. This is Jeffrey. Thank you so much for joining. So Shark Week. I'm so glad we're able to talk about this. So we were just working with Discovery Communications, and we're really looking for what can we do that truly embraces discovery, truly embraces educational programming, and makes kind of a spectacle for all of us to engage in a really fun, engaging, and of course, educational way. So Shark Week, the exhibition. So we're just going to go through this a bit, and as soon as I figure out how to move this down, I'll chat a little bit as we change from slide to slide. So basically, the sharks. The sharks are something that we all kind of truly love. There's so many different ways that we can engage in sharks, and of course Shark Week for the past 30 years has really been helping us engage with the fish in the sea that many of us are terrified of, many of us are just fascinated by, many of us really truly love and admire. So over the past 30 years, Shark Week has been around. It's been around since 1988, and it has been really Discovery's #1 program since that time. I think that the first episode that was really, captured the imagination was around when Jaws came out. They did a Jaws Shark Week episode, and that really put it on the map. And I don't know if that dates all of us, but remembering when that show came out by Spielberg may give us an indication of just how long Shark Week has been around as well. So it's really been in popular culture for a good long time. And it's really been able to, with that, bring a spotlight to the animals in the sea, the fish of sharks. So as you may know, there's a lot of lost territory with these fish. A lot of them are becoming endangered. So having this opportunity to celebrate sharks is in all of our interests, and of course, doing so in a brand new museum exhibition is exactly what we're hoping to do. So the mission of this is to really get an understanding of these fish, the often most endangered fish in the sea. The target age group is really young and up. We're following the demographics of Discovery Channel, which we'll go into in a little bit, but really it is for all ages and all demographics, school groups, families, really embracing the educational content of ecology, conservation biology, oceanography, all these elements that tie with the scientific exploration that is done within Discovery Channel, as well as being provided here within the exhibition. It is incredibly flexible. So looking at the target venue, this is an opportunity to provide exhibition content within areas within your institution that may be standard, such as a gallery, or non-standard, such as a lobby or a hallway or an unused area. The flexibility with how it's being created and how it's being distributed allows you to do many different forms of presentation that typically you wouldn't have with standard exhibitions. So it's about 2,000 square feet, and it can go as large as you need. With that in mind, the license fee, I'm going to start with that here, is relatively low. So it's $15,000 per month. And then there are some opportunities for ticketed programming on top of it. Now, with all this, this is a new style of exhibition that we have done in the past with a couple of other projects, but how we're distributing it is digitally. So it's distributed through the cloud. We really do a license. All the media and content, which we're about to learn about, is provided through that service. So that means there can be many, many institutions taking advantage of Shark Week during the exact same months that Discovery Channel is broadcasting. So it really allows us to take advantage of the programming that's happening in Shark Week, that summer time period when we're looking for a little of extra content programming. And what's nice about it is that all of us can partake at the same time. So this is for the 30th anniversary. And the 30th anniversary is, of course, this year. So it starts July 22nd. We're going to have all of the information for the hardware coming out in just a couple of weeks, and all the content will be distributed by the end of June so that we can start in full for July. So what is it? The exhibition is primarily media. So it is 6 different sharks and 6 different screens, large format, as large as we can get. And then we have supporting content with scientists, both through graphics and monitors. So looking at Shark Week, it really is Discovery's most popular program. And with this exhibition, we're going to be exploring just how awesome and powerful these fish are. And again, as I mentioned right at the beginning, just the kind of myth around sharks, sort of like the dinosaur world, where it's an animal that we all kind of have this passion for and curiosity about. And just because it is in the sea, and we hardly ever get to see it outside of aquariums, it is something that we just want to know more, and it's difficult to do so. So this is an opportunity for us to do just that in a really gorgeous large format experience. So the exhibition is supported by a few things. There are really 4 different types of engagement. The first one is the large format content. So you saw in that rendering earlier on that we had the screens there. And again, depending upon the institution, those can be large format projections that can go upon walls, upon screens, upon halls, with very high-end cinematography from under the water. We have interviews with the scientists. So each one of these sharks, with the shows that are from Discovery Channel, there's engagement and study from the scientists that provide both the cinematography and the information about the sharks. We'll be sharing that as well. There are graphics that support each one of our shark topics, and then there are interactive, essentially quiz games that go along with this as well. So there is interactivity with each of the topics too. So the large format media, it's a large projection, and again, the surface is up to you, and really will allow, in a way, to see underwater where typically we can. Again, it kind of gives that feeling that we're looking into a window of these habitats that these fish live within, and this cinematography is really provided by some of the finest underwater cinematographers in the world. Discovery Channel has been working on this content, as you know, for 3 decades. So they really have been able to produce some of the finest video content of sharks that we have currently. And you get to get up close and personal to sharks in a way that typically you can't, really seeing some of the highlight moments in these sharks while they're in their habitat. The graphic content also supports the sharks. We have 6 different sharks that we're talking about. It's in-depth content about the characteristics, how they live, where they live, and of course some surprising facts about each one. And we get to meet the people who brought us this information. So we have video interviews of those scientists, looking at some of the studies that they've been doing, some personal anecdotes about them researching sharks, and some of the concerns that they have with the sharks themselves. The interactivity comes from something that Discovery Channel created. It's Sharkopedia, and it is a lot of surprising facts and figures and games from sharks throughout the world, and we'll be able to supply those too. So we get to really see up close and personal the work that the scientists are doing. So let's meet the content. Let's meet our sharks. So the great white shark, obviously we have to have the great white shark. It is the shark that everyone most loves and fears and loves. So this shark, although it is not the most dangerous shark in the sea, it is something that we all know about. It really gets our fascination with these animals going, and here in the exhibition we get to understand what their habitat is like, where they live, why we fear them the most, and just a little bit about this massive beast. And of course we get some pretty interesting facts along the way, and some really great video content that supports them. Now, some of the other sharks that we have in here are a little bit more unique. So the Goblin Shark is one that's a deep water shark. It looks kind of cute in this image here. It's a shark that we don't often get to see much of, but when you get up close and personal, it's a little bit closer to the alien that we know from cinema as opposed to an actual shark itself. So this cute critter is definitely one to be fascinated by. The whale shark, it's the largest shark in the sea, and one of the most gorgeous with the striped patterns upon it. It doesn't feed in the same way that most sharks do, and it's an animal that we have quite a bit of fascination around. So we learn about, again, its habitat, some of the challenges that the shark is having in the wild, and how it feeds, where it feeds, and how we might be able to help it. The frilled shark, this one, again, another adorable fish. It looks a little bit more like an eel than it does an actual shark, and you can see some of the teeth on this is a fascinating collection of teeth that it feeds with. So it's really all over the sea, and it's been used as food as well as curiosity for all of us. But if you look here, those adorable eyes and ferocious teeth are really something to be remarked upon. The hammerhead shark, this shark is fascinating. Sharks do school, and mostly we've seen that in the hammerhead migrations. So it's a fascinating fish with a very elongated head, of course, with its eyes on the side. It's a curiosity for young people and old people, both through its physical shape, but also with how it moves through the water. So we take a good up-close and personal exploration of the hammerhead, which we all definitely love. The tiger shark, this is one of the most violent sharks in the sea, and we take an exploration of what this fish is like, where it hunts, what it hunts, and we get an understanding of its solitary life under the waters. So we get to go up close again with the tiger shark, which is a beautiful fish and great media that will support that fish too. And of course, it's not just all about learning about the sharks. It's about the environment that they're in and protecting the fish that we love. So we have a media piece also on the conservation of the sharks. As mentioned earlier on, many of these fish are endangered. They're endangered through just the changing in the environment. They're endangered because of fishing, finning, which is illegal in most places. Of course, the climate shifts, their natural habitat being destroyed through overfishing or through bleaching. All of these things that you don't really think of when you think of the most powerful fish in the sea, but they are being harmed in very similar ways to many of the other fish that are surrounding them. So we explore some of those challenges and what we can do to help support our newfound friends through the exhibition. There's a lot of content that comes from, again, Sharkopedia and Discovery Channel to help support this, and we really do encourage that awareness and give action points to how to help out. Now, having all that media content is awesome, but also having events is really awesome as well. Working with Discovery Channel, we have the ability to bring in some new content for other locations within the institution. So we can do some broadcasts, either broadcasting of specials from Discovery Channel during Shark Week, or episodes that we can do repeat viewing with in your theater. These can be ticketed events to bring people in either after hours or during the day, but it's really taking advantage of Shark Week happening live at the exact same time is really impactful when it comes to creating events. And with that too, we can do other sorts of events depending upon what it is that you choose to do, whether it be parties or whether it be bringing in lectures or even just sort of taking advantage of the fact that you have Shark Week with extra finned hats or costumes along the way, but definitely taking advantage of the frenzy that's around the globe during this time period. Now let's talk a little bit about Shark Week again, what Discovery Channel brings to the forefront. It is really the #1 summer event on cable television. It's the longest running cable show ever, or a cable event is what they call it. Currently, Discovery Channel is available in 90% of American households. That's about 100 million homes that Discovery Channel enters into, and it's watched. Shark Week is watched by about 50% or more Americans during that time period. And now we see Shark Week being enjoyed in new ways. Now that we can do kind of download television shows, we can bring Shark Week onto your phone, onto your tablet, and Discovery Channel has this new app called Discovery Go, which we found that many users, particularly between young users through the mid-30s, they're using Discovery Go to engage with their content. So Shark Week really is in your pocket as well as in your living room. What we get from the shows is really groundbreaking stories about the sharks. Stories that we don't get anywhere else. These are true scientists doing true work and stunning imagery that comes forward. It incorporates that new technology that is used in studying the animals and new research that is coming up every year. And the footage is really not available anywhere else to be able to get this close and personal to sharks as we are studying them. So the access, we really want to have access to sharks. Shark Week, because of that, has been the #1 cable rating in households. There are 5 million viewers. I don't know if you guys saw it last year, but Michael Phelps raced a shark, and that was like the hottest show that we've had since Jaws. And there are 5 million people who watched that, and that was during prime time. So, and during that day, there were 15 million people who watched Shark Week at some point. So it really is, it's rated #1 from kids all the way through to like middle-aged folks, both men and women, which is unique for bringing people into the museums. And it's the reason that people give for why they're so fascinated by it. Of course, they're fascinated by the fish, but also it's educational family programming, which is the feedback that we've been getting from the viewers. So here's just a little bit of chart stuff to understand the demographic. You take a look at this when you get the presentation sent to you, but it gives just a little bit of an understanding. Maybe this aligns with some of your current sponsors, but it gives you an understanding of who's coming to see Shark Week. People who are not only in sort of the middle incomes and upper incomes of America, but also people who are interested in outdoors, schools, and books, and of course when you look at who's doing the advertising, hardware and home improvement, that seems pretty close to science centers, entertainment and travel, that seems pretty close to people who are interested in exploring. So although this does not parallel exactly to demographics charts for us, it does tell us an awful lot about the people who are watching Shark Week today. Now, for this package, what is it that you guys get? You're saying, okay, so it's distributed digitally. How does that help us out? So this is what comes in that package. It's a full exhibition design file, so how you set it up, how it's supposed to look. There are 6 10-minute large format media loops. So this is the video of the sharks. So you have 60 minutes of shark footage underwater of the sharks in their environment. They should be set up separately. So again, you have 6 different screens with 6 different sharks being broadcast upon them. And then you also have 6 3-minute media loops of the scientists talking about the work that they're doing. And these should be shown in tandem. So the scientist who studies the great white shark should be in line with the imagery of the great white shark, and put up next to those are the graphics that support that shark as well. So it's kind of like 6 different areas dedicated to those 6 different shark topics, and they all come with the big footage and then the smaller scientific footage and then the graphics. You'll get marquee graphics. You get a marketing press kit with all of the content and from Discovery Channel and from Shark Week, the style guide that comes with that, programming guide, and of course there's retail merchandise to support it all. Now what we need from you to do this is the 6 large format screens or walls to be able to project this upon with the projectors, 7 graphics that will be printed, and the interactive units, which will also be printed. These aren't built, they're printed on. And then 7 monitors to support those units. So that's what the scientific content will be run through, is the monitor system. And all of those are just looped, so it's not a touch screen or anything like that. It's very simple equipment that you guys would have to provide. So since we're asking something of you, the fee is relatively low. So it gets you all that content from Discovery Channel, as well as everything packaged and ready to go, and that's only for $15,000 per month. You can keep it for as long as you want, although Discovery has asked us not to sell it through into next year. So if you want it for 2, 3, 4 months, please do. And then if there are any events that you guys charge for, there'll just be a license fee on top of that. But this should be hopefully very agile and flexible for however you want to use it. Now, I just want to be clear, because it's in orange, that it is only available for this summer. So Shark Week 30th anniversary is coming out in July 22nd. So it's available for this summer. Now, there may be something coming up following it, but this particular package, this price point, and these offerings are only available for this year. So that is what we are offering for the exhibition, and the best way to contact folks who will be able to help you out with that is through EDG. So the phone numbers and emails are right here. So that is Shark Week. If you guys have any questions, we'd love to answer them now.
Bummer, it's only a week this year, this week.
Well, you can show
after,
yeah.
But
people wouldn't care.
Still called Shark Week exhibition.
All right. Although I don't know if I've heard any questions. If you were speaking, I didn't hear you, I apologize. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to email them or call up EDG. You can ask them that way. I'm happy to personally talk to anyone directly if you would like to continue the conversation. And I'm going to pass this over to Liz Frericks to wrap up. So thank you.
Thank you all for joining this afternoon. I hope you found those images of the sharks beautiful. The exhibition, of course, will be even more spectacular. As Jeffrey said, if you have any questions or any follow-up that you'd like to speak with someone directly, please feel free to reach out to us and we can coordinate that. We also, as mentioned at the beginning, recorded this presentation, so we'll be circulating that to everyone as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining and have a good afternoon. We'll hang up now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.